Hello everyone. So today we're going to go over the first week's assignments. Uh, don't forget you always go to the overview to see the schedule for the week. By the time this is up and you see it, because I'm recording this about 2 weeks early, this will actually be 2 videos rather than one. It's 2 shorter videos rather than one long one. But you'll have for Tuesday, meet me in class for Zoom from 1 to 3:30. Then on Thursday, you'll have 2 short videos, and you'll have homework number 1, preliminary research Wikipedia due. Okay, that's what's due Thursday. Again, remember this is a lot of work because of 2 reasons. We're doing a 15-week course in 10 weeks, less than 10 weeks. So there is more work because of that. And then also, we're not meeting in class on Mondays, so basically that's 2 hours that I expect you to be working on these projects instead of formally meeting. So Thursday we'll have 2 videos, a preliminary research Wikipedia. Then on Sunday we'll have a reading called Introduction to American Life, and you'll have some questions about that. And then we'll have another homework assignment called Preliminary Research Google, and you'll have to take a quiz. It's a short quiz, usually 10 to 12 questions. It's not meant to trick you. It's meant to, or even test your knowledge. It's just to make sure you're following along with what's going on here. Okay, so we go back out to our module. Don't forget on the side here we have our syllabus, schedule, Zoom information, and our weeks. If something looks slightly different by the time you see this, just keep in mind I am doing it 2 weeks early, this video, so there might be slight adjustments I make between now and then. Here's your learning materials for the course. We have our handout packet, which is your textbook, and we have the keywords chart. If you click on that, it'll look like this, and you'll be using this for your work this week. So basically, as you're doing your work, especially the Google and Wikipedia assignments, you'll want to look for keywords. Okay, so for example, if you're doing head coverings in the Middle East or in Turkey, right, you'll find similar terms like hijab, abaya, chador, veil, niqab. Broader terms like Middle East, Turkey, Islam, culture, women, a party that advocates for it, fundamentalism. Narrower terms like a specific person or specific sect of people or guidelines from the Hadith, and related terms, right? So as you're doing your first couple of homework assignments, have this handy and fill it in with based on your topic, okay? So that what this does is when we do a library starting next week, we're going to start looking at the library. And as you do the library, these keywords will help you with your library search. The library search is not as effective as a Google search, and so having a good list of keywords makes it a lot better. You can see I did the same thing here with Japanese hip-hop. Similar terms, broader terms, narrower terms, and related terms. So you will not need to turn this in, but students that do this have a much easier time with the library research starting next week. Okay, so we go back here. If you need help on how to submit an assignment, there's a short video on that. Here you'll have the 2 short videos rather than this one longer one. I'll be replacing that soon. And then here's your first homework assignment. Okay, so your first homework assignment is based on doing preliminary research on Wikipedia. Preliminary research is to get your feet wet on a subject. So say you choose hip-hop in Japan and you know nothing about hip-hop in Japan. A good thing to start with is Wikipedia or Google, and just to understand it a little more. But preliminary research is almost never used in your final paper. It's just used to gather terms, keywords especially, and keywords are the most important nouns. Okay, so keywords are the most important people, place, things, or ideas. And you gather keywords, you get a basic understanding of the subject, and that will help you when you get to the library. If you skip preliminary research and go straight to the library, you're going to find it very difficult. And so here what you need to do, so first of all, you don't need to know a lot about the first paper, just enough that you can start. So the first paper that we'll be working on will be a compare and contrast essay in MLA format. For this assignment, you'll need to choose a subject to study, an interest, hobby, something to do with your major, etc., and a non-Western culture to study. See the list below. You will study that topic in the non-Western country and then compare and contrast it with that subject in the US. For reasons I'll explain later, avoid historical topics. Instead, focus on the relative present within 10 to 15 years. So here's some examples from other classes. Robotics in Japan, Japanese hip-hop, internet addiction in South Korea, graffiti in Egypt, higher education, secondary education in many different countries, women's rights in many different countries, Japanese manga, Christianity in Egypt, LGBTQ rights in all different countries, mental health, and so on. You can see the other ones on the screen. And so something you're interested in a non-Western culture. Okay, and I do highly recommend it be something you're interested in because you'll be reading a lot on this subject. So the more interested and engaged you are, the better you will do. Now, here's our country list for research. We'll be focusing on these regions: Southern Asia, Northern Asia, the Middle East, India, Pakistan region, and Africa. Okay, so what you don't see there is North America, South America, Central America. What you don't see there is Australia or Europe. The reason for that is somewhat arbitrary. I could easily adjust this. However, after teaching this theme for a while, what I've figured out is students, it's a lot easier to compare and contrast, and we do a lot more on the critical thinking front when we focus on this part of the world. Okay, so I am going to ask you to choose from this region. We got Africa, Middle East, Asia, we got India, Pakistan region, right? So there's a lot of countries in that region. You can look at my list here that has those regions. But notice I say etc. So this isn't a list of all the countries in that region. So if you know a region you're interested in, but you want to see if there's other countries beyond this, then just go to a map. Just Google a map and say what other countries are in Southern Asia, what other countries are in Northern Asia. So what you need for this first couple assignments is a subject you're interested in, a non-Western country to choose one, and then you need a backup. It could be the same country and a different subject. It could be the same subject in a different country, but you need a backup idea in case that first one doesn't work out. Okay, so you need to choose a country, non-Western country, make sure it's from the list or region, a subject you're interested in, a backup country and backup subject. Okay, and here's the keyword chart again that can help you. Here is a student sample of this assignment who received full credit. Let me see if I can get this to open. There it is. So this is what it looks like from someone who got full credit on the assignment. Okay, so let's look at what you have to do, and then we'll refer back to this. So what you do is, again, what I just told you with the non-Western country and the subject. You go to wikipedia.com and search for that country. Think of a subject you'd be interested in studying in that country. Search for that topic according to in-class instructions. Start general and narrow as you read. Okay, so what you'll do is list 10 facts on your subject. List an alternate subject and 5 facts on that alternate subject in case that first one doesn't work out. And then you'll write 2 paragraphs on the following: why you chose your country and subjects, what you found interesting, and what you would like to know in your research. Okay, so here's what it looks like. We have a heading, we have 10 facts based on environmental issues in China, right? And we see their specific facts, They're all different parts of environmental issues. And then they chose a backup subject and country, cinema in India. Now, if you're really into the environment, you could do environment in India. Or if you're really into China, you could do two different subjects in China. Okay, so we have 10 facts on your original issue, 5 facts on your backup issue, and then 2 paragraphs based on those questions. Okay, that assignment received full credit. Okay, let's go to Wikipedia here. Let's go to Wikipedia here to show you a couple hints about Wikipedia. So first, you can put in your country and your subject, and maybe you'll look out and it will be there. And it is for Japanese hip-hop, right? And so what you want to do is read through with your keyword chart handy, and again, look for similar words, look for important people or ideas, and write those down on your keyword charts as you read, okay? If you're lucky and you found this on your original search. You can look at the table of contents to help guide you. You might say, I really want to focus in on new stuff or political aspects or controversies, right? And you could click right down to those sections. As you're reading, try to pull out your 10 facts. There should be plenty. It should be pretty easy. Also, be on the lookout. I don't think there are any for this topic, but be on the lookout. Sometimes there's a little subheading that says main article. If you see the words main article, click on that and it'll take you to a much longer entry. Okay. And so you could also say, oh man, this fact is amazing. I'd like to see if I could use it later on. You might want to click down and see where that fact came from, because occasionally you can find a trustworthy source in here. So probably at some point you've all heard don't use Wikipedia. Here's the deal with that. Basically, you shouldn't use Wikipedia in a final paper. The reason is because it's, at this point, I'd say 99% trustworthy, but not 100%. However, a lot of teachers and professors tell you not to use it at all. I think that's a shame, and it's a bit laziness. They don't trust you that you're going to use it in a responsible manner. I trust you that if I repeat it a couple of times, you will use Wikipedia in the manner it's supposed to be used for, which is preliminary research. This idea that you need to understand it a little before you can do formal research. But it cannot be used in your final paper. Okay, let's look at another search here. So say I do Japan and robotics. And again, I'm lucky, it has an entry. I go through and I start looking for important keywords. Again, which keywords are the important nouns? People, purses, people, things, places, and ideas. And you can use the table of contents. Be on the lookout for that main article. And as you can see, there's not much on this, right? It's very sparse. And so what you might want to do is, if you don't find what you're looking for, or there isn't much on it, what you might want to do is widen the term a bit. Japan and technology, for instance, and see if there's something under technology that might be more helpful. Okay, so you could go to electronics, and here's the main article that I told you to look for, right? Now, what you can do is go through this and again find your keywords, take your facts. If you're still not finding what you're looking for, another thing you can do is put in just your country, and then when you go to your country, look at the table of contents. So again, in this case, we're looking at robots and technology, right? And so let me find it. So we have history, geography, politics, economy, and science and technology. So that'd be another way to get there, right? And then we have main article. Click through the main article to get there, right? And it may be you're not finding stuff, and you could go to that one, or this could trigger, oh, you know what? I didn't even think about nuclear power. Let's do that instead, right? So use Wikipedia in this way. If you try all these things, if you try to search for your country and term and you don't get anything, if you search for a broader term, like in this case, Japan and technology, and you still don't find anything, try just the country and then look under the table of contents for something related. And if you still don't find anything, at that point what you can do is the next assignments can be Google, finding stuff on Google. What you could do instead is just do this in Google. Find 10 facts on your subject and country using Google, and 5 on an alternate subject, but then you're still going to have to do the Google assignment. So make sure you use different articles for that assignment. But ideally, most of you will find something in Wikipedia. Okay, so that's this assignment. Again, you'll be doing 10 facts on your subject and subject and country. You'll do 5 on an alternate subject and country, and then 2 paragraphs. That's due Thursday. Now the next assignment is a reading that's due Sunday. This one's called Introduction to American Life. It is a pamphlet that's given to international students when they arrive in the United States. We're going to be looking all around the world at different countries, but before we do, I want us to turn the magnifying glass on ourselves and see what do we look like from the outside. Right? And so this pamphlet, I think, gives you a good idea of what they think international students need to know about Americans before coming here, right? And there's 4 questions. Make sure for these questions you consider our history, values, social and cultural institutions. So you could say, oh, you know, I think the Civil War influenced this, or I think World War I influenced this, or whatever it might be. And I try to tell you how much to write, so 2 full paragraphs. I just find I don't like doing that, but I find that students get better grades when I write that because you tend to answer the questions more fully. Again, how does the pamphlet describe the American view of time, and why do you think we view it in this manner? So again, consider our history or our values or social or cultural institutions. And so on. Okay, so let's do Sunday. And then the third assignment, this one's due Sunday as well, is it's very similar to the Wikipedia assignment. Okay, except instead of going to Wikipedia, you'll go to Google and search your country and topic. Okay, here's a sample of this assignment. And this sample received full credit. So in this case, what you're going to have to do is find, let's see, I forget if it's 3 or 4 here. Does it say? 3 articles. Okay, so what you need to do is find 3 articles on your subject using Google. Post the name of the website, title of article or author. Post 3 to 5 keywords and a short summary of the article in your own words in 3 to 5 lines. Okay, make sure it's in your own words. After all 3 articles are done, write 2 paragraphs about what you found interesting, what you'd like to find in library research, and what you'd like your paper to be about. It's early, but I want you to start thinking of that, right? So, again, due Thursday is this Wikipedia assignment. Due Sunday is a reading with some questions and preliminary research Google. Again, just like Wikipedia, most of this you will not use in your final paper. Instead, you'll get your feet wet in the topic and you'll understand some keywords and some basics about it. Okay? And then to wrap up, there's a quiz. The quiz is just some questions about what we went over in class, what's in these videos, and from our reading. It's short. It's open book. You can have the reading open when you're doing it. You could listen to the videos as you're doing it. And you get 2 chances at it, and it takes the higher grade of the 2. They're not meant to trick you. They're meant to just make sure you're following along. Okay, so I think that's all for week 1. Sorry this is a little longer than I planned, but I ended up wanting to go through it a little more thoroughly. And if you have questions, please email me or let me know in my Zoom hours or in class. I am here to help you. Thanks.